Welcome to Naynay Nails. Okay, so a really common question that we get from our students is, what do I need to become a nail tech? Honestly, you can never stop collecting being a nail tech, I swear. There's so many things you can get. There's always new things coming out and it's such a fun career. But just to start out, you don't need a whole lot of equipment, okay? Because I feel like if you're going to procrastinate until you get every single thing, you might never do it. Okay, so your preparation. So preparation, things like your acetone and isopropyl alcohol. You can get these from a pharmacy, from beauty wholesalers. You know, they don't cost a whole lot of money, but they're really handy to have because you need the acetone to soak the nails off and also be able to cleanse with certain enhancements. And then the isopropyl alcohol, ideally 99%. You can get the little swabs that you see, I think they're about 70% roughly. So for me personally, they're not strong enough for the salon, but you can use them. You can get so many products, nail preparation kits, you name it. Honestly, like, I am a marketer's dream, I swear, because if there is a new can of Coca-Cola that's come out and it's pink, I'm gonna pay an extra $5 to get the pink Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? But I can tell you now, with nail products, you have to be very careful that you're not going with the whole system or getting a bit too carried away with things that you actually don't need. Okay, so one tip as well, with your nail cleansers, honestly, just your isopropyl alcohol and your acetone. So, nail wipes. You want to get lint-free nail wipes. So basically, they are a wipe that when you will cleanse the nail plate, it is not going to leave furry nails. It's not going to look like, you know, when you've patched a cat or cat Santa Claus's beard at Christmas or something. But honestly, lint-free wipes, great, they're amazing. If you want to try and save a little bit of coin and you don't want to go and purchase your bulk wipes, one of the best lint-free wipes is actually wax strips. So just the wax, because it's lint-free, you can cut them up in strips and they do just a good job. Okay, so we've got our preparation, what we're gonna clean with, okay? And then we have our nail glue. A Duck & Dish, they come in all different shapes and sizes. Just get one to what you prefer. Now, your core system. Okay, so if you're starting a training course which teaches you gel and acrylic, then you're going to want to get the products for gel and acrylic. You don't need to go and get the whole kit in every single color in the world. It's just so that you can practice, because you might come out of it and be like, do you know what? I am liking acrylic more, or I like gel more, so I'm going to make that my thing. And then you're going to waste a whole bunch of product in a core system which you're not going to use. So if you are just doing an acrylic course, just stick with one Cover Pink, first of all, which is really good. You can sculpt, you can do anything with it. So if you're doing an acrylic course, I highly recommend, if you're just gonna get one powder, get a Cover Pink. You can do full sets in that, you know, you can do your infills, you can do your practice beads. If you're going to be learning your pink and whites or your French, you can then add your white powder as well, and clear would be a good guide point. So a Cover Pink would be my main suggestion for the main powder that I would use in salon, and also my students. But if you do have the budget, I would go a Cover Pink, a white acrylic powder, and a clear. So if you've got any questions as to why I suggest the Cover Pink over a clear, drop your comment below. I can do a tutorial on. If you've got any questions as to why I do suggest the Cover Pink to a clear, please post your comments below. I can definitely go into that further for you. Okay, the same thing with the gel. If you're going to go a gel as your core system, go a Cover Pink or a clear. Okay, now nail files. So they come in all different shapes, grits and sizes. I'll do another video on what file should be used for what. but basically you want to be looking for something like 100 grit in your kit if you're doing acrylics or hard gel extensions, and a 150 and a 180, which is more getting down to like your natural nails or your gel polish manicures and things like that. I like to use the Harbour Bridge file, it's my personal preference, but they honestly can come in a board file, and it just really is your choice as to what you flow with. So, you know, maybe just try a Harbour Bridge, see if you like it, and then go from there. And once you kind of get a feel of what you're doing and what grits you like, then you can go in and get some bulk files. And then also something like this. This is a natural nail file. So I wouldn't be using something like this for, say, you know, if I'm taking down extensions or shaping, but it's really good because you can get into the little hard to reach places for your gel polish manicures. So, okay. Now, a buffer. You can get buffing blocks, packs, all different shapes and sizes and all different grits. So try and start with a 180 grit buffer first, and that I feel like will be the best grit. If you're going to ask me what is one grit buffer to choose, probably just look for something like a 180 to 100 grit buffer. So I'd recommend just getting a primer of some sort, whether it's acid or acid-free. And then your choice of extension system. So you might decide that you are not going to do extensions. You are going to just do natural nail manicures, gel polish, and pedicures, and you won't even need to extend. So in that case, you would not need to be worrying about all your core acrylics and hard gels and all of that. But you would still have to prepare, you know, have your cleansers and your wipes and everything like that, and then you would be getting to your gel polish range. Okay, so extensions. So tips and nail forms. Now most courses do include, so most courses do teach you to start off with most beginner courses do start you off on learning how to do tips. And then they will do an advanced course, which you will then and then you'll go into something like an advanced course down the track, which then you'll get your sculpting forms and do like more of your advanced shaping and styles and everything like that. But the fundamentals, if you're learning the basics of nails, is your main, how to apply your main shape, application with your product, cleansing, sterilization, and so on. But forms, sculpting forms and tips, depending on what you're going to use, is good in your kit. Most beginners do take with tips first, so I'd probably recommend going tips, and then when you do your advanced course, you can go to sculpting forms. Okay, so nail brush. All right, so you want to, once again, start with the brush that you're going to use. So if you're doing an acrylic course, start off with your acrylic brush. You want to get a Kolinsky brush. I would not get the best quality brush, your very first brush. Honestly, just get the most basic Kolinsky hair brush you can get, because usually, more than likely, you're going to clog or get some acrylic in the brush hairs, which is going to damage it, and you'll have to throw it away. Then once you're starting to get really comfortable with your beads and slaying your acrylic application, then you can go in for a really nice fancy brush. And that brush you can keep for years, as long as you treat it right. Okay, so then if you want to do nail art, if you're going to the world of nail art, I would highly recommend getting a cleanup brush and some kind of a liner brush, or a small, like a fine detail brush. It's quite fine hairs. So this one here I use a fair bit. It's a 0 long. I do a fair bit of detail work, so it's super, super fine, but you might not need to go that fine, just as long as it's just something that you can imagine just painting a flower with, or something like that, that's not going to be quite bulky. Okay, once again, you don't need to have the nail art brushes though. On a beginner's course, most courses won't show you too much nail art at first. Most beginners, when you're starting out, once again, it's about the fundamentals and getting that shape, and getting that core application correct, because that is the main part where, you know, if your nails are staying on and they're not lifting and all of that, then so once you've mastered that your nails are looking good, that, you know, once you've mastered your nails are looking good and they're not looking bulky, and so once you've mastered your nails are looking good and they're lasting, then you can go into the world of nail art because you've got a strong foundation. You don't want to go in and start. Okay, now your nippers and cuticle pushers and also tip cutters. I personally don't even really like to use tip cutters myself in the salon. We do include it actually for our students in the kit as well as cuticle nippers. I personally don't nip the cuticles as well. And I could explain that if you would like to comment. So if you want to know why, I can definitely explain that in another video or comment below. But we do include it. My personal favorite is these good old toenail clippers. Now, I don't use these for toenails, I use these for nails, but yeah, so these are great, so handy, durable, and you know, and they're cheap, they're so cheap. So, and then you want to get to something like your sterilization system. So you want to have like a barbicide, or depending on where you live, whatever your country is, whatever your state is, you're going to have different laws. So whatever your council law is, or whatever you've learned in your training, just make sure that you're getting your sterilization products or following whatever your state laws may be. Okay, now, then optional, okay guys, this is optional. So if you guys don't have the budget to get a polish or a gel polish range yet, don't worry about that just yet. You know, at best, maybe just get something like a top coat and a base coat, one color, you know, a popular color, whatever you like, pink, nude, red. So you're gonna be taking a little while learning, you know, your application, your filing, and your shaping. So even before then you jump to applying gel polish over the top, it's gonna take a little while. So you've got your core, at least you're starting. And then once you feel like you've mastered that, that's a little reward for yourself. Go down and get yourself a few more gel polish colors. You can build on it, honestly. It never stops. But what I recommend is once you are ready to start taking clients, something like your nudes are popular. Always have a black and a white, pink, purple, you know, your pastels, and also your neons are popular. And then something like a coral, but that's a good starting point as to where to go. So your nudes, pink, your nudes, your pinks, so your nudes, your neons, your pastels, and of course your red, black, and white. So that is good. So as far as all the nail art and glitters and gems, look, you don't need to get that yet. And you also don't need to go out and get gel polish with glitter in it and then get a whole other color range just because you want glitter in your polish. Okay, there is some incredible pigmented glitter range, like gel polish, that I absolutely love, and I will buy them for a certain reason. So if you want to save money, you don't need to go and get a whole range of glitter gel polishes on top of your regular gel polish, okay? Because honestly, you can just get glitter and put them in little trays like this, and you can actually apply them. You can actually apply them into the Tacky gel polish. So that's something that I personally still use, and I've got the biggest, like thousands and thousands of glitters, I swear. Doesn't mean that doesn't mean that I don't have glitter gel polishes, absolutely not. There are some that I absolutely love because it gives that really diamond effect. But these are all things that you can get down the track when you've got all of your fundamentals that you use after a big week in salon. All right. So a soak off system, so if you're soaking off your enhancements or gel polish, I love these little finger clips here. Just put some acetone and some cotton balls and away you go. You can soak them. Or you can just get a roll of your good old alfoil from the kitchen and use that. Literally cut it into pieces and use that and put some cotton balls on and soak off. I can do and you can soak off. If you've got any questions about that technique, I can definitely do a demo for you and show you what I mean. A nail lamp. So that's something that I would have, a nail lamp of some sort. go for an LED lamp. When they first come out, it was just a UV. You used to be able to change the bulbs, whereas the LED lamp is great, it's quick, it's fast. I would start with something like a 36 watt, but you don't even need to go that high if you're just kind of practicing at home. But once you start getting to clients, I'd go a minimum of 36 watts. Now, once again, the LED lamp would only be once you start working with gel polish, or you finish practicing with your core system, you can go from there. So LED lamp. If you're working with acrylic, you actually don't even need to get an LED lamp first if you just want to start with the fundamentals of prepping and shaping, because that is the fundamentals. So if you're learning just acrylic alone and you're on a budget, you don't have to get an LED lamp to start off with. Remember that it's only for adding the gel polish later. And if you have finished all of your practicing and your core system and you're happy with your shape and you're ready to start going on to applying gel polish over your acrylic, then go ahead and get an LED lamp. But once again, just for starting out in acrylic, you don't need it. You don't need an LED lamp to cure the monomer and the polymer, the liquid and the powder. If you're doing hard gel, you will need to get an LED lamp because gel does need to cure under an LED. So just a little tip. In our training course, I personally like to include the white, pink and clear. That's only just because I do also include a bit of, I guess, advanced shapes and things like that in there and a bit more nail art. So, but I would just start with your color pink. Okay, now e-file. The e-file is for prepping the nail plate, taking down acrylic for infill, and also for some finish filing or shaping at the end, or debulking if you want. Back when I first started nails, you were seen to be a bad nail technician if you used a drill. Now, thank goodness it has changed. The reason being is because the e-files do get a bad name because people can do a lot of damage. So yes, there are some horror stories. It's still good to learn how to prep a nail without an e-file, just using your hand file and your buffer, as well as finish filing. So myself, I still finish file with a hand file, because once you start to master acrylic, you're sculpting with your brush, not with your file. So it's something that you definitely do not need. However, I do recommend that when you do have the budget to get one, start off just a really basic e-file. You don't need to get the best, but once you start doing all day, everyday clients, yes, then I would start to look at getting a bit more of a high quality e-file, just because it's going to be better for yourself and your client long term. Okay, and this little baby, I literally, it just feels so real. It feels so real. I sit down after I've done a training course and they literally jump because they're like, what is that? It feels like a real hand, it feels like a real hand. But the thing I love about these are a practice hand. So you can see, I mean, you don't want to do that. You're going to break your client's finger. But you can see that it's so flexible and you can twist. I can sit here and twist Nancy's finger around and I can move as much as I want to. So these sit on your table. We use them in our course for our students. You don't need to go and just buy special tips for it or anything like that. So because it's just super soft, you can see, I can squishy like a real hand. You can just push or insert the tip up as high as what you want, just a normal standard nail tip, and there you go. And then you can just hold your client's hand and practice nail art. You can put your acrylic overlays or gel overlays, and then once you finish, you pull it out and throw it away. It's great. You're gonna have an incredibly exciting, interesting, fun career ahead of you. I honestly love every day of what I do, and I know you will too. Just stick to it. But for now, goodbye. Any questions, please comment below. Also, I'm doing daily tutorials on YouTube. So if you want to see something or want to know more of a topic that I haven't covered, please comment, and I am going to be picking one of the comments daily to the next day's tutorial. Okay, so bye for now, and that's a wrap. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will be chatting to you again tomorrow. Nancy, say goodbye. She's getting a bit antisocial in her old age, so.
Ooh.